Once upon a time, there lived a merchant in China who was very fond of raising fish. He had built 4 large water tanks in which different types of fishes were swimming. Some were small, some were big, some were brightly colored, and some had silver patches on their bodies. The businessman was very fond of his fish and used to feed them with great passion. He was more fond of flamboyant and flamboyantly colored fish. Many of them had blue stripes, and some had all 7 colors of the rainbow on their tails. The merchant used to lean over the pond and look intently at the fishes and always wished for one thing. If only he had a fish that was golden from head to tail. He would talk to himself and say that he had many silver fish. He has many rainbow-colored fish, but no one in the world has a completely golden fish. If only he had, everyone would have been surprised to see him. There is no better-looking fish than a goldfish. If it were, the world would come to see it from far and wide and be happy. He tried hard to find such a fish somewhere, but then he found it impossible. Several fish were found with dark yellow scales. Many of the fish were orange-striped, but a completely gold-colored fish was nowhere to be found. Then bad times came for the businessman. His income stopped and he became poor. He closed his big house and lived in a corner of it. Now he had no employees, but he did not forget to feed his fish. He had grown old and had given up his desire to find the golden fish. Although he became poor, he was still happy. Now many times his grandchildren would come to visit him and he would play with them. Now that was his greatest joy. Then one night a stranger came to the merchant's house. After a long time, someone rang the bell hanging outside the house. The businessman heard the sound of the bell with great surprise. He wondered who had come to meet him. His friends had long forgotten him. He walked through the long corridors of the house and came to the outer door. He saw a man standing outside, who was dressed in black clothes, and his horse was standing next to him. The stranger asked him, "Where does the great merchant Wang Fu live?" The merchant answered him in a polite tone, "Dear guest, I am Wang Fu, but I am no longer the great Wang Fu of old. I am a poor man. My house is empty. I pray that I can give you a place to stay and arrange food for you, but I can't promise very good food." The stranger entered the house. The businessman took him to the bathroom and arranged for him to take a bath. Then he came to see the horse. He tied the horse in an empty stable and gave it hay to eat. Then he went to the kitchen to cook for the stranger. From an old cupboard, he took out some food and then prepared the food and called out to the stranger, who was watching him as he bent over the fish tank. The stranger raised his head and asked the merchant, "You seem very fond of fish. When I put my hand in the water, instead of being scared, the fish came closer to my hand." The merchant told the stranger, "Yes, all my life, I have wished that I could have a fish that was completely golden in color, but my wish could not be fulfilled, dear stranger. You come with me, the food is ready." Then they sat down to eat. After the meal, the stranger finally told who he was and why he had come to see him. He said, "My name is Sung Fu. Many years ago there was a woman who worked in your house, who washed your clothes. I am her son." The businessman asked in surprise, "But you look very rich." The stranger said, "Yes, I am very rich now. My mother put me to work at a young age with a magician, who raised me like her own son. Now that sorcerer has passed away, I have got all his property and spells." When the merchant heard this, he bowed his head and stood respectfully in front of the stranger. He had always been afraid of wizards, and now his legs were shaking at the sight of a wizard in front of him. The stranger said to him, "Do not bow to me. My mother will be angry." The merchant asked, "Is your mother alive?" The stranger said, "Yes, he is alive and in perfect health. I have come to see you on his orders. Do you remember them?" The businessman immediately said, "Yes, why not? She was a healthy and happy woman and washed my silk clothes very well." The stranger asked, "Do you remember the day she got sick and couldn't work for 5 weeks?" The businessman was disturbed hearing this question. He was wondering how he had treated the stranger's mother. He couldn't remember. He was afraid that the alien wizard's mother had sent him to punish him. Finally, the businessman said, "No, I do not remember the days of his illness." The stranger said, "But my mother remembers those days. You propped them up on the bed and arranged for a doctor and then paid full wages despite not working. They never forget. Now that I am rich, He has sent me to meet those people who have done favors to him in life and to reward them. That is why I have come to you." The businessman was shocked to hear this. He asked, "Will you meet those people who did not treat your mother well? Will you punish them?" The stranger replied, "No, my mother has no such wish. She has forgotten her enemies, but she has remembered her well-wishers. O kind merchant, you are poor now. I have brought you wealth that will make you happy." The businessman said, "You are wrong. Wealth does not bring happiness. I am happy without wealth. I do not want gold, silver, or servants, neither expensive food nor clothes. I am old and tired but happy and want to stay that way." The merchant in surprise. He had never met such a person who would reject wealth like this. He did not say anything else and took permission from the businessman and laid down on the floor. At midnight he got up, went to his horse and took off the bag on his back, which contained gold nuggets, which he had brought as a gift to the merchant, but the merchant was not supposed to sleep. Now a brilliant way of using it came to the mind of the stranger. He took her to a pond, where fish of a muddy green color were swimming. One by one he started dropping the gold nuggets into the water of the tank, and at the same time started reciting a mantra. Each nugget of gold began to join the water and form a golden cloud. Fish started coming towards these clouds to see what is happening here. When morning came, all those fish were golden from head to tail. The old merchant searched hard for the stranger, but he was gone. Then he saw the fish, and his joy was endless. His dream had come true. The only fish in his tank were golden fish. Children, whenever you see a goldfish somewhere, remember the good-hearted merchant and his good-hearted washerwoman, and then yourself. Always be kind to others. No one knows when a stranger will come knocking at your door to repay the favor.